Yeah, hi. Also, I'm here speaking with Mary Ferrara. She's the writer, director, and lead actress for a film called Schmoopie, which has been nominated at our Fusion Film Festival in London for next month. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary, for talking to us. And it's a dramedy, really funny short film. And Mary, if you wouldn't mind just telling us how the film came about and a brief synopsis, please.
I've acted for many years, and I've written a little bit. And I guess, it was always in the back of my head to kind of do my own thing, and that didn't really happen until about a year ago, and I signed up for a film challenge in New York City, and the people they had chosen, they chose two people who signed up to be the producers of the project, two random people, and those people bowed out. So I stepped forward and helped produce this film, and it was a union film too. So after doing that, I felt a little empowered. I was like, I want to do my own film. And so I decided to write this film for a local film festival in Boston. This film festival was a bit of a competition. They kind of tell you it had to be 5 minutes or less, and it had to begin with the sentence, "I'll take whatever you've got." So I wrote the film. It didn't get into this festival, but I decided to submit Schmoopie to other festivals, and it's done very well. In writing the film, it got a little personal. So there was, elements from my own life in the film, a breakup. I volunteered at an animal shelter, so I wanted to sort of involve something to do with animals and things like that. So in essence, it's about a woman who is dealing with a breakup, and she basically wants to order a lot of skincare products in thinking that they'll make her look good. So if she looks good, she'll feel good. So while on the phone trying to order all these products, the woman on the other end, the phone sales girl, kind of inspires her in saying, I don't think, all these products are what you need. You need to get out of the house. So when she leaves the house, she meets somebody at a park, and that person inspires her to do something that really does change her life, in a good way. So I think really the message behind the film is sort of just taking chances to make yourself a happier person. Sometimes we get in a rut, and we're kind of, when we're dealing with an event that is not very good, and, we're just sometimes get in a rut, we don't move on from it very well, and sometimes you have to take a chance to sort of make your life better,
And it's interesting because the beginning segment is sort of the comical part, but actually the middle section with the saleswoman you're talking about, because it's really a three-hander, isn't it? You've got the saleswoman, the character that you play, and the gentleman you talk to in the park. But the beginning bit is quite comical, but actually the middle piece is quite not dramatic, but it's more serious, isn't it? I think, anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming, having looked at your bio, I know you're sort of talking about a film you worked on before, because you'd done a film called Candlestick Justice, but I obviously don't know anything about it. But was that a dramatic film?
So that was the film that I produced in New York for the film challenge, and that was also a dramedy. So that also had comedy and drama in it too. And I didn't write that. There was another actress that had written before that we asked to write the film, and she stars in the movie as well.
Yeah.
And it's a group of parents that are invited over to this teacher's house because a fight has broken out with these parents' children in her classroom, and it involved one of the kids going to the hospital, and so they're trying to sort of work it out, but a fight ensues, and that's where some of the comedy comes in. So,
and when you sort of challenge yourself in terms of making any film, whether it's Candlestick Justice or Schmoopie, and you know you're going to do your next film, and I know this was, there was inspiration, there was like a background to this, but even so, you've got to sit there and think, well, okay, I'm going to do a film, what's it going to be about? So you're literally starting with a blank sheet of paper. So what's the process that you kind of employ to even get you can probably know where this is leading, to get the thought process going, and then leading onto a subject matter that that you want to talk, you want to write about, and then turn into a film? Because you've got to kind of pluck something out of the ether or the back of your mind, or however you kind of do that. How does that work in leading up to where you end? If that makes sense.
Well, it's funny. I mean, it's something different for everybody. After I did Schmoopie, I wrote another script called Red Shirt, which has also done very well on the festival. The script itself, I haven't produced it yet, and I'm trying to remember what that process was like. I don't really know, but I know there was something personal there. I know that, so Red Shirt is about a woman who goes on a blind date, and she knows nothing about her blind date is that he's wearing a red shirt. Right. She knows nothing. And so that was a little bit inspired by a blind date that I went on, and that I think I just said to him that I was wearing a red jacket, and before I even could get to the location, he left me a voicemail saying, there's a lot. He said, Marco Polo. There's a lot of people here wearing a red shirt. I don't know which one is you. How am I going to know which one is you? And he freaked out. And so that kind of inspired it. So, and then I just went with my imagination and writing it. So, I think you start with something personal to you or something. We all have a treasure trove of stuff from our past that we could write about. And so you start with something, and then, you have to walk away from it. And then, you'll be at the gym or something, and you're like, I know where I want to go with it. It happens at the weirdest times, and then you take that idea and you continue writing. So I never usually can finish at one pass. What happens is I may start with something, and then I'm like, I'm going to walk away a while, and maybe, it'll come to me where else I need to go. And you'll be surprised. You'll be driving or whatever, and you get the idea of where else you can take the script. And I do recommend walking away sometimes, because I don't know if it's sort of like the stimulus of the outside world inspires your creativity, maybe, but sometimes you need that air to walk away and just randomly get inspired. I also, I used to train in improv, and I sort of take some elements of that in the style of how I write, where, you start with something, and then you build off of that, and then you come back to that at the end, like a callback. And it kind of gives a nice structure to your script. So if you don't know how to end it, think about how you began it, and that's kind of a little bit of a structure of an improv scene. So there's different things you can do to inspire you when you're writing. Every writer has their own process, I did write another script recently where I posted a reel of my acting work, and a bunch of actresses said, well, I want to do more comedy. Yeah, I want to do more comedy. I was like, you know what? I'll write us a script. And I went and wrote a script using all these actresses, and knowing them personally, I knew how they acted, so it really helped in how I wrote it because I could picture them. So if you have actual people in mind, that can inspire your writing. Strong characters really are a good foundation for a script because the dialogue can practically write itself.
And I always think that improv, or stand-up comedy, or particularly improv, must be the hardest thing in the world. So, in fact, I would dread having to do that. I know you can do training and get yourself in the groove for it, but even so, it must be...
Stand-up scares me.
I honestly don't know how you do it. And it must be the most difficult thing, in my opinion, I think entertainment-wise. I really don't know how people do it. I mean, I don't know how they've got the ability to do that. But then I also think, well, if you can do that, you can kind of turn your hand to anything. I suspect. I don't know. Because it can't be anything worse than that in terms of comedy entertainment.
Well, you have, doing, I'll be honest with you, I did improv. Was I the best at it? I don't know. I actually dealt with a lot of confidence issues. I could get very doubting of myself. So I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's, and then with stand-up, it's all you on stage. You're not leaning on anybody. So I see what you're saying. It is, I think in the end, you have to have faith in yourself, that you are funny. And that you are, you have, in stand-up, you have something to say. And the more personal you make it, the more, like, I was watching Judd Apatow's masterclass online, and he said, if you make it personal, that's, don't try to be jokey, make it personal. People, the fact that you're opening up on stage, people are going to appreciate that, as long as you sort of, give a really interesting personal angle on it and stuff like that, as opposed to, trying to be forcing the funny usually is kind of a recipe for disaster sometimes, whether improv, stand-up, film, whatever you're doing. Be embarrassingly personal, which does, some of my scripts do have that. You may be, if it feels uncomfortable for you to write or put out there, chances are that's what you should do. I mean, I'm serious.
No.
And it's because that is what people want. That's, there is beauty and funniness in reality, and to just take it to that next level,
So I suppose the right word, the danger of that is when you're, Schmoopie is an example, when you're writing it and you're about to put it onto screen and it's based on you, so it's kind of an embellished version of something, and if you don't mind me saying, but then you've got to separate you from the character you're playing. So when you're writing, the question I guess is, when you're writing it, I know it's like a superannuated extreme version of, not extreme, but superannuated and different version of you, but do you ever sort of think, but that's not what I would necessarily be saying in reality, or do you have to kind of separate yourself from that and just move away from that?
You do. I mean, you do. You are exaggerating. You are sort of, raising it up a notch for the benefit of the film. You know what I mean? But there's truth in everything, But I mean, I myself do buy a lot of skincare products, and I do. It's there is elements of truth in that, and so and some people, when they're not feeling so good about themselves, will buy a lot of something that makes them feel good, probably too much of something, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So there is an element of truth in that. You know what I mean? But yeah, you just want to raise it up to the next level. Sometimes for film or for comedy or whatever. But underlying anything is truth. But you're right. I mean, would I, be trying to buy everything in a catalog? Probably not. But I might go to a dog park and talk to people.
we call that retail. We call that. Sorry, yeah. I was going to say we call that retail therapy. I guess it's the same in the US.
Maybe. What's interesting is I actually never owned a dog. I've always had cats, but I helped my brother's puppy for 2 weeks recently, and I tell you, I said to myself, boy, and I, made a film kind of promoting owning an animal, and here I'm like practically pulling my hair out with this puppy.
Well, I know it's tough.
He's young, he's adorable, but I mean, they're a lot of work, but they really do. They do connect with humans in such a wonderful way, and they're really, really in tune with you. Like they have a seventh sense or sixth sense with things. So but it is a nice thing to adopt animals. It does help in a lot of ways.
So when I know, if you don't mind me saying, I'm guessing you're predominantly comedy. Sort of comedy, but in terms of doing something a little bit darker or more dramatic, and maybe you have done that, I don't know, is that kind of something you're looking at in terms of scripts you're working on, or perhaps future projects?
Well, it's funny you say that. I just find comedy easier because I for some reason. But I just did a short story challenge. There's a company, NYC Midnight is this company, and they have these you have a weekend to write this screenplay, and then it gets judged. But I just did their short story challenge, and I got drama. So I wrote an 8-page drama short story. I have never done that before, and I was thinking of adapting that to a screenplay. Wow. Of course, I'd like to get feedback on it, but I'm not opposed to doing drama. It might be it just, sometimes I think writers just have sort of a gravitational pull to certain genres.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm no expert on this, but I guess it's, if there's something you're gifted to do, why would you not do that? I mean, whatever it is in life, I suspect.
Well, exactly, yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's kind of fun to write comedy, yeah.
I know it's interesting you said about you find that easy. So I always think, I've been fortunate enough to speak to lots of filmmakers who have written scripts and, comedy and drama, and I've always posited that question about, for me, I would imagine that comedy is the most difficult thing to write, because what may be funny to you may not necessarily translate as being funny to someone else. So that's really interesting. You should say that.
Well, I think it's, again, your approach to it. Like I said, if you make it personal, like say you take an embarrassing moment of yourself and, heighten that, that's where, it's all in your approach to comedy, and I've read comedic scripts that just seem to be overtly jokey, and I can see people not always finding that amusing. Again, you're more likely to have success if you base it on some personal situations. But you're right, it can be difficult because everybody's humor is different. A lot of people love the show Arrested Development. I saw the first season. I never laughed once, It wasn't my type of comedy. I know it's a popular show. So you're right. But ultimately, I think that you have, as long as you're being real and truthful, I wouldn't care if everybody doesn't get it or everybody doesn't like it. Just keep being, truthful, and definitely, have a lot of people look at your script and ask them, do you find this, amusing? And even if they don't, but they have a lot of other good things to say about the script, that it works, then that's good, But again, you're right. Not everybody's humor is going to be the same, I'm sorry, like British humor, it could be very different than our humor. And actually, I've been to England and I saw a British stand-up comedy, and I actually really enjoyed it because I learned more about British culture, him talking about local businesses. So I found it intriguing. I didn't understand everything, but I appreciate it,
Thank you. No,
yeah.
That's right. It's like Monty Python's people sort of laud about how brilliant it is. It doesn't do it for me. I don't find it at all funny. And yet, Fawlty Towers, I think, is one of the best 2 or 3 comedies ever written. So you just don't know. It's horses for courses, and one man's meat is another man's poison, and all that. And
exactly,
you just don't know. But that's it, Mary. Thank you very much. Would you believe nearly 18 minutes? No, honestly, really appreciate your time. And
thank you for inviting me to do this.
No, thank you. That was absolutely wonderful.
Congratulations to everybody that has a project and your festival, and best of luck to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of the weekend.
All right, thank you. You too.